Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video, and this is episode...
Okay, I'm going to make it really simple for you this time. Take the number 90
Okay.
and
90.
add to that in scripture, what is the perfect number?
The perfect number is 7. God created everything in 6 days, and then he rested on the 7th day. So, yes, 97. So, I'm back. Hopefully, I'm mentally and physically back, but I am back from my trip to Spring Green, Wisconsin for Stitch Camp, and I'm going to talk about that later in the video. I hope you all are doing well. Let me get a little bit organized here. I have a lot of stuff here, and I'm hoping that I stay organized so that you don't have to put up with my fiddling and trying to figure out where I am. I did have a great trip, and I flew to Wichita and spent some time with my sister, and then both of us drove to Spring Green. Well, we picked up our friend Kay in Kansas City, and then we drove to Spring Green, Wisconsin, and we were there for 4 days for the Stitch Camp retreat. And like I said, I'll talk about that a little bit later. I got to meet and get together with old friends and new friends, and it was really a joy. So stay tuned for more about that. So what have I been stitching? I haven't done as much stitching as I had wanted to. Since I've been back, I've done a lot of quilting, and just an announcement here in the middle of my video, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who did purchase a quilt during my quilt sale, and I am feverishly working to finish all the quilting and binding on those quilts. I've already sent 3 out. One of them went to Zambia by way of New York, so international. So anyway, please give me time to get it done. I am feverishly working to get all of them finished and mailed. So plus I have some customer quilts that I'm trying to get done as well. So in the meantime, I haven't had as much time to work on my afternoon stitching on smalls as I had, but I'm saying oh, but, and so a lot, so forgive me. So what have I been stitching? So the first, I had a finish of a small that I finished, and I had a teeny tiny finish. So last time, or time ago, I talked about Red, White, and Bloom. This is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I really want to get those USA letters from, I think they're from Hobby Lobby, so hopefully. I think they carry those letters year round, if I remember, because, you know, you might want to spell a name in your child's room or whatever. So, Red, White, and Bloom, Brenda Gervais. This came out a couple years ago, I believe. And so I had previously finished the little Uncle Sam. This is done on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R Reproductions. Someone's bringing me my coffee. Thank you. Is it full? Not too full. Okay, thank you. It's hot. So I had previously finished the little Uncle Sam. Like I said, this is on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R Reproductions. So then I moved on, and my teeny tiny finish is the Red, White, and Bloom, which is the second one that I'm doing with the 2 eagles. You can see the white in person. It kind of fades in there a little bit, but it's legible. Red, White, and Bloom. Now I'm using all the called for colors. However, when I did the Uncle Sam his coat was supposed to be done in blue suede. Let me see if I can show you. And I mistakenly did it with pea coat. So pea coat's on the bottom, blue suede is on the top. Blue suede's a little bit more of a Liberty blue. These are by Weeks. So I did his coat in this color, which is the pea coat. And you can see the bloom on Red, White, and Bloom is done with the blue suede, which is a little more brighter blue. And then the third one, I think I'm only going to do 3. The third one I'm going to do is this little Lady Liberty right here with the sunflowers. I guess they're sunflowers. Yeah. So I'm not going to do all 5, but I have started on her. Again, 36 count Winter Brew by R&R Reproductions. These go really fast. You can finish them in just, 4 or 5 hours. They just don't take very long. So since I did his coat in pea coat and it was supposed to be blue suede, I'm doing her dress in blue suede and it's supposed to be pea coat. So I'll fit them all on this little piece of. And then I don't think I'm going to do the last few. One is the eagle on the pot of flowers, which is right here, and the other one is the hat with the flower. We'll see. I'm kind of ready to finish that and move on. So that's on 36 count Winter Brew. The other finish I had was my Plum Street Flag Flock by Plum Street. Turn it right side. I talked about this last time, how I did the extra leg of the white ram. I think these two are lambs and this one's a ram. Rams are the ones with the horn, and he has a horn. He's a little bigger. But anyway, I did, I stitched it in the grits, which it called for, and then I turned around and did an extra leg in chalk. So this is the finish of Flag Flock by Plum Street. This is on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. Vintage Country Mocha is like a painted fabric. So the back side of it is plain and the front side is mottled. You can kind of see the difference there. So I'm doing it on the model. Whoops, let's do it this way so it's not upside down. So I'm doing it on the mottled side. And that's the pattern that I had you put in the word flag. And I will be giving that away toward the end of the video, so stay tuned. And like I said, I used all the called for except for the putting the extra leg of the X. So it has grits, and then on top of that is an extra leg of chalk, which is by Gentle Art. So that is my 2 finishes in June. What else have I been stitching? Well, let me first show you some previous finishes. And I didn't get out all the patterns, but hopefully these are the ones I had intended to get fully finished, and I didn't. So I've just been busy quilting. This is one of the lessons by Plum Street. It's lessons in something. And this one I finished, I think, last year. And it says, ever faithful, ever kind, firm and generous be thy mind. It's a whole Lessons for the Bowl series. I think there's 4 of them. So that's what I'm going to put on the back, which I have not done, but hopefully. And now I have those others to finish. This is Land That I Love, and I'm pretty and I have a half a yard fabric, which I don't need that much. I'm pretty sure this is by Heartstring Samplery. No, it might be Threadwork Primitives. It's one of them. It could be Threadwork Primitives. Land That I Love. I don't have the linens. This, I'm pretty sure most of them are 36 count. Another previous finish is this one, Plum Street Sampler House 3. Sorry for the glare. I just need to take a day to do FFOing. And this one is Your Grand Old Flag. I love the bunting and the on the sheep. Can you see that? And this is what I'm putting on the back of that one. So I pulled everything to finish them. I just haven't done it yet. This is Heartstring Samplery. This is Sweet Land of Liberty. See if I can get it out of the bag. I think these are all still available. This calls for 32 count mellow by Pictures Plus. I think I used 36. Sweet Land of Liberty. And again, I have a huge piece of fabric. So I have that one finished. Again, needs to be FFO'd. I also have a bunch of trims sitting on my sewing room table, rickrack and some pom-pom and some chenille in, you know, colors that'll go with all of these. So it just needs to be done. The last one that's a prior finish is Heartstring Samplery again for Spacious Skies. And this one I actually have a piece of green. Has a lot of green, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to use a green for the backing because it seems to go. Again, a previous finish that needs to be. This one I might do a stand-up. This one I did on, it's a Picture This Plus, and it has, I think it's Heroic, that has the red and the blue kind of modeling. You can see some of it here. Close up. See that right there? It called for, good question. I don't know. Let me see here. It called for Sand by Picture This Plus, and I just like the idea of doing the Heroic because it had the red and blue splotches. Oops, I'm showing you the wrong side. Oh Beautiful for Spacious Skies. So those are prior finishes. And what else have I been stitching on? I think I said, famous last words, that when I went to Country Sampler, I was going to be stitching on, what did I do with that? I put it under here. That I wanted to be stitching. I have other prior finishes, but they're in a project roll in a drawer, and I didn't get them out. Oh, here it is. I also said I was going to be stitching on One Nation because I wanted to stitch on something that each of the designers had done in the past. This is Samplers Not Forgotten, Kimberly Nugent. I didn't even get this one started, but I still want to work on this. So when I finish that little girl from the Liberty Girl from Red, White, and Bloom, I'm going to start this. I saw this on display and at Country Sampler, and it's fabulous. So it has all the goodies in there. It formerly was a kit from the Threads of History Club. And there's a few floss tubers that I've been watching that I wanted to mention. One is Lady Huzzah, and she was at the retreat, so I got to meet her. I've met her in the past. What is her first name? It'll come to me. And then I've been watching Lizzie the Stitcher. She's in New Zealand. She has 3 videos out. Lady Huzzah has 2. What is her name? I know her name. Sorry. It's what happens when you're on camera. All of a sudden your brain just kind of goes, I think I'll take a break. Lizzie the Stitcher, she's in New Zealand. I've been watching Chris, the camping stitcher, and I've seen her mentioned, or have heard her mentioned on other channels, so I think a lot of people have been watching Chris, the camping stitcher. And I've also been watching, it was the first one she had done in a while, Maddie. I think she's the Oklahoma stitcher. So we'll list those in the description box, and hopefully you'll give them a look and a like and subscribe, because they're all really good. Floss tube, and they all have. Now Maddie the Oklahoma stitcher, I think she has quite a few videos in, but she hadn't done one for like a year, so I watched the newest one and then I went back and watched some of the others that I'd watched in the past. So I'm still at what have I been stitching. So the next piece that I worked on, okay, I really told you I was going to try to stay organized. Doesn't take much, does it? It's in here somewhere. This is the patriotic drum. Here it is. From Stacy Nash. And she was one of the designers, and this was the one I was going to work on with her. So this is part of the Country Sampler Club. I don't know if this has been released, because the 4th one, we just got the 4th one in the club when I was at Country Sampler. So this is a pretty big drum, and when we got the first kit, we got this candle stand, or whatever you want to call that the drum is sitting on. So it's a pretty large drum. And we got a long piece of linen. Partly because the border of the drum is all stitched. So that has to go around the circumference, good math word. It has to go around the edge. So there's, that is quite a long piece. But I'm pretty far on the front, or the top of the drum. Again, I have a needle, so hold on, let me put this on the back. And this is how far I've gotten on this one. Whoops. Trying to throw it in my coffee. So here's the picture. And I'm not sure if this one has been released or not. And this is how far I am. So I still have to do the grass, the flowers around the house, some animals, and in the grass, there's like a little pond. You can see it better on this picture. A little pond with the ducks. So I want to continue to work on this so I can get at least the top done and the side piece started. And that one I'm using all of the called for because it was a kit. So that's another thing that I've been working on. It would have been nice to have that finished. And then that would take some serious FFOing. Oh. I was a little disappointed with the coverage on the house, but now looking at it from a distance, I think it looks okay. It's not super bright, but sometimes the pictures on some of these cross stitch pieces are either brighter or duller, you know, they don't always ring true with what it actually stitches up to look like. So anyway, and I thought I'd show you the others that are in that series. So this again was the Country Sampler Club, Girls Club by Stacey Nash. So this was, I don't know if this was the first or the second. I want to say this one was the first. Complete with threads, the linen, a waxer. This is the other one. Now you'll notice these two have the design around the edge. The one I'm doing has the design around the top, as does this one. This is the one we got when we were at Country Sampler. Stacy brought the patterns with her. So they were all kitted, ready to go. So those are the 4 drums, the seasonal ones. I think this was supposed to be spring and this was winter. The one I'm working on is summer, and then this one is fall. So eventually these will all be released. But for now, you'd have to call Country Sampler to see if any of them have been released, because the first one's almost a year old. So the next thing I've been stitching on, and this was before I left that I started and worked on this. I think I actually showed you a little bit of what I had done on Live on Little. I love this piece. This is like, last time I think I showed you Liberty's Welcome and the American Sampler. So to me, these all are just like companion pieces. And so I had done part of the little vine on the side, and I went down with the vine and across. I got some of the wave. It's finished. It's not a lot, but there's a lot of I'm going to go ahead and do the animals, and then I can just fill in the ocean below it. So you have ocean, and then you have, there's grass, and then there's, I don't know, river or lake or water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Did you ever hear that? Oh. Anyway, so I'm going to add the flowers, and then I'm going to work down on work the flowers, and then I probably will then work up and then across. I'd like to get more of that border done, or work on the border over and down. Then I can start on the house and all that water. But it's fun. It's very fun. And this one is done on 40 count hog bristle, which is the called for. They always come with a big sticker. And I'm using all the called for threads. A big portion of them is DMC. So that ocean is done in DMC 924. So you can get an idea of their true color. So I stitched on that. And then I took this with me and I did some stitching on this. Again, this is a piece that's on display. If you have never been to Country Sampler, it's definitely a destination place. It's not a huge store, but it's jam-packed with home decor, Jeannie's lines of fabric, other fabrics, quilting fabrics, quilt kits, quilts, cross-stitch patterns, cross-stitch quilt kits, linen, just lots of goodies. And they opened what, I don't know if they call it the annex or what, but it's their regular classroom. And I'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit when I get to the retreat, but they opened their classroom, and then there was extra things that in the classroom, linens and things like that weren't available the first few days. But anyway, this is on display there. Again, this is by Samplers Not Forgotten, Kimberly Nugent. It's a grand old flag. I've kind of gone back and forth on how much I like this. But every time I see it on display and framed, I'm like, yes, I definitely want to finish it. So it's a huge house. And there again, I have a needle. Hold on. Let me see if I can thread it to the back without glasses. Oh, which is always a challenge. This is on, I believe it's tin roof. Yes, 36 count tin roof by Weeks. And as you can see, I'm working on that house. I think once I get the house done and I get some more of the flowers, I'll be a little bit more enthused about it. But there's a lot of stitching in this. A lot of stitching. And right now I'm working on filling in, let's see if I can show you up close. There's like 2 colors on that house. So you can see I've done the red, and I think it's, let's see what it is. Part of it is done in red rocks, and then the complementary color is fawn. So in other words, each brick is like every other. So I still have a lot to do, but I think once I get the house, and then I can work on the border flowers and those little pots of flowers, and then the words, it'll go fairly fast. Sorry, it's not ironed. But like I said, every time I see it there and it's on display, it's like, I really like it. So, and these are the colors. I don't think they were changed by Jeannie. Yes, they were. This is a country sampler conversion. The linen is what's called for, but she did change some of the colors, not all of the colors. And then the other day I thought, you know, I'm kind of anxious to get back to a sampler. And somebody had posted their finish of this, which, by the way, I'm still really enjoying the Saltbox Stitcher Weekly Sampler post-along. You need to follow that hashtag on Instagram. There's some fabulous samplers people have done, some way above my pay grade. So it's just wonderful to see everybody posting finished, not even framed, but finished samplers. And I'll get to a point where I'll start posting ones that are finished but not framed, because I have quite a few of those. Anyway, and I decided to start working on the Mary Argent sampler. This is by Needlework Press. This again was a country sampler. I think it was one of the club kits. Does it say? Yes, country sampler in spring green brings you. And when you look at the colors to this, you have to realize that there's some brighter colors than just browns, because it kind of looks like it's just browns, but it's not. You have reds, you have some, all of these, the lighter cinnamon color. So I had barely started this. In fact, I didn't even think I had started it, and I got it out and I was like, oh yes, I guess I have. Again, I stopped mid-stitch. Seems to be my MO. So I don't have enough to even talk about, but I just wanted to show you that I have gotten back to this. This is on 40 count straw. So this is coming down the side border. And the color on that is terrapin. It looks very dark, but it is a green. So I'm kind of enjoying getting back to a sampler. And I don't believe there's any over 1 on this. There might be a teeny bit, but for the most part, this is all cross stitch over 2, no specialty. So that is the sum of what I have been stitching. So I am going, let's see, I have to put my glasses on to see the 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop and reheat my coffee. He brought it to me cold and I haven't even taken more than one sip. And then I'm going to show you some things from the retreat, some things that I have gotten in the mail, and just in general goodies from my trip. So I will be right back. Okay, hopefully I can keep all this straight because I'm old. So my memory is not always what it used to be. At least I can say that because you don't know if I had a good memory in the past. I may not have. But anyway, so we arrived at Country Sampler on Wednesday night, pretty late, and the event started Thursday evening, so we had all day Thursday to shop. When I say we, I'm talking about my sister and Kay. The three of us kind of palled around together. We were all, along with 4 other lovely ladies, and I'll talk about them in a minute, but there were 7 of us all together, and we stayed in the upstairs apartment above Country Sampler, which is dangerous because you don't have to drive there. You just walk down the steps and you're at Country Sampler. It's a dream come true. In fact, I was talking to Jeannie, and I told her the other day, I called for something, and I said, my sister and I think we just want to come and stay a week at the upstairs apartment. It's so nice up there. And she said, yeah, and then we'll put you to work. I thought, oh, that's nice to know in my retirement that I could work at Country Sampler. I said, well, I'd take it out and trade. She goes, oh, it's a deal. So anyway. But all kidding aside, it was a wonderful retreat, and it started Thursday night. And there have been a few other people that have done recaps of the retreat, so I recommend you go watch them. And it's Lisa, Lady Huzzah. I mentioned that before. She did a great recap, much better than I'll do. So if you want the full information, you can go to Lady Huzzah, Lisa's channel. I also watched Chrissy, Finally a Farm Girl, and her guest appearance was Pete. And Pete was at the retreat. He is 04, number 4, PeteSake.fl. So that's his Instagram name. And he occasionally sits in with Chrissy, Finally a Farm Girl. And he also did a good recap of the retreat. Chrissy wasn't there, but Pete was, and it was great to meet him. So he does beautiful stitching, and he really likes Blackbird designs. So Thursday night was a meet and greet. We got to meet the teachers. Sorry, I moved the table. We got to meet the teachers, and we had a buffet dinner, and just, kind of everybody chatted. And then it officially started on Friday morning. We had breakfast provided, and the first designer was Alma from Blackbird. I have a special affection for Alma because before there was Blackbird, she worked at Saltbox Sampler, which was a quilt shop in Kansas City. I did not work there. Someone asked me what quilt shop. I worked at a quilt shop in Kansas City called Calico Country. But both of those shops have still since closed. But I used to visit the Saltbox Sampler, and once they closed, that's really where I kind of got my name, because I loved the name Saltbox Sampler. That's what I named my quilting business, and then when I started YouTube, it became Saltbox Stitcher, or Carol Saltbox, or Saltbox Carol. I have gained these nicknames, I guess. Anyway, so Alma was the first presenter. Did I say my husband brought me my coffee cold? If I said that, I was wrong. He brought it to me. It's very hot. I said he brought me a while ago, and he thought I said that it was cold. He gave me hot coffee, just to clarify that. Anyway, so this was our project from Alma. Every bloom is charmed. I'm not going to take it out. Beautiful design on a box or a basket. And then, of course, their staging is always wonderful. She has that little half moon dish with all the antique buttons. And anyway, every bloom is charmed. And then with it, we got all the things to make that drum. And the drum is called the Morning Bird. So with that, we got all of the linen and the threads. And it's done on Picture This Plus. I'm not sure what linen it is. I'd have to look, but we got all of that. Oh wait, I can tell you what linen it's on. Hold on. Sorry for the crinkling. The linen is 36 count Heartland. I need to put this in a different bag. So those are the two designs. And with that, gotta find a place to put these things. With that, we also got the basket. And she gave us instructions on how to, she even gave a little tutorial on Saturday, Alma did, on lacing. So that was a huge hit. A lot of people sitting around listening to her talk about lacing. So she laced the piece on mat board and then she glued it to the top of the basket. Adorable. So we got that, and then we got this cute little bird cage. It's hinged. It's hinged, and then you can put the drum inside that little bird cage. Too cute. Just a unique way to display that drum. So we got those, and then and it was so fun because obviously Barb has passed, not obviously, but Barb, the second half of Blackbird Design, has passed away. She said it had been 2 years. I think she died on 4th of July. I'm pretty sure she passed away on 4th of July 2 years ago. But Alma fondly tells stories about Barb that are, you can just really appreciate their friendship. And I am very appreciative that Alma is continuing to design and teach and travel. And I think we, as a community, are really blessed that she, is doing it solo now. And even though I know she misses Barb, she's bravely continuing. So I know I appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of other stitchers appreciate it because her designs are fabulous. Let's face it. As Jeannie said, she was introduced, Jeannie, the owner of Quilter, her Country Sampler, introduced her as probably the most talented person she knew. Obviously, she's a giant in the cross-stitch and quilting communities as far as a designer. So anyway, it was really good to see her. So she told a lot of stories about Barb, and it was just really good. I loved it. Anyway, our second, and then she had another piece available that was at the shop that we could purchase. And this one is called With Wing Unspent. And she told a cute story about this, about how she had trimmed the linen after she had most of it stitched and ended up having to just make do rather than start over. And so you could see where there was a slashed line, and then she kind of stitched around it. And it was just a wonderful example of humility that, we don't worship these. We don't worship these cross stitch. And if you make mistakes, you're not alone, because even the designers make mistakes. So I think that was, it was just a cute story. So anyway, we were able to purchase this all of the kits were 36 count. So got that. And then the second designer, I think that's all about Blackbird. The second designer was Kimberly Nugent from Samplers Not Forgotten, and she had this, and I'm hoping I can get some pictures inserted, either a little video at the end or individual pictures. And this is called the Lenten Rose sampler, and it was complete with actually a fat half of straw, and I believe it's also 36 count in all of these weeks dye works. And then we also got this cute little floss ring that was put together by Lady Dot for Kimberly's packet. There's all these, let me see if I can get that out. Some of these things I haven't opened because I just didn't want all of the pieces and parts to be all over the place. So it has all these cute little charms, scissors, a bird, a heart, a button, just really cute. So that was kind of part of her sampler piece, and she did have the model that she had stitched. It does have specialty stitches here, and she said, you know, if you don't want to do, she gives really good directions. If you don't want to do the specialty stitches, feel free to just do cross stitches. So I thought that was neat. And then with that, she said you have enough linen to also do this drum. And this is called the Lenten Rose Drum Kit, also by Samplers Not Forgotten, Kimberly Nugent. And with that, we got an antique button and some ribbon for the drum. So that was the second kit that we got. And then we had lunch. No, we had lunch after Alma. And then we were free on Friday to, you know, eat dinner wherever we wanted. And then on Saturday was the last designer, and that was Stacy Nash. And she gave a fabulous kit. She's been doing, I think, she also did one for at Market, and then I think she did one for the Homespun group. But what I'm talking about is these little pouches or bags. So you do the stitching and then it folds over and makes this cute little, I was trying to get it out of the package. So we got all the linen, we got the discs for the pinball. So this is where it folds up, and then this is close up of the pattern. Really, really cute, and all of the wonderful linen threads, everything for that. So that was the third designer. So then we got a few things from Jeannie. We had this nice little packet. Some people got red and some people got white. I think my sister got white. And in this was the thread milk design. She's doing a statehood series, and actually I just got the Florida one at our little local 3-day retreat we did with my stitching group, and now I also have the Wisconsin. So I thought that was cute. Came in that pouch, and then we also got this little floss conditioner, and we got a wonderful waxer. How beautiful is this? Whew. I have a little shelf in my sewing room that I have a lot of little waxers, but that is gorgeous. Is it right side up? It's a flower, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It smells good too. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and then from Stacy Nash, we also got the little bee waxer. I'm trying to keep these things straightened. Okay, so that came from Jeannie. This was one of the things I bought right away. These are her 40th, it's Jeannie's 40th anniversary at Country Sampler. And she had these tote bags for sale. And these are actually, I think, from the Wishing Thorn. So this is one of the samplers from the Wishing Thorn that's featured on this. So Country Sampler, 40 years. So that was nice because then I could put all my things in that. So there were 7 of us upstairs in the apartment above Country Sampler, and I wanted to show you some of the personal gifts that I got from those people. But I also got another really special gift. Her name is Anne, and she really touched my heart because she told me about a time in her life that she was really struggling, and that watching my videos kind of helped her through that time, which is kind of unbelievable to me. I just get on here and talk about cross stitch and I ramble. And for people to think that I had an impact on a time in their life is, to me, it's kind of, I can't quite comprehend it, but I also believe it and appreciate it. But anyway, she gave me a very special gift. She made this for me, you know, these little cases that everybody's making, a special pin cushion. She owned a quilt shop for 12 years, I think she said. So she made that special for me. She also made me one of these little cute little Ort containers out of Blackbird fabric that I actually am using these 2 fabrics to make a setup. And then she also gave me a thread bed, Blackbird fabric. So thank you, Anne. That was very touching. And then my friend Sandy Zebart, she's Quilts 43. She gave me this cute little flag pillow out of coverlet fabric, and then with a flag and a button pins. And that one I actually had sitting right here. And then I started to talk about the people that were upstairs in the Country Sampler apartment. So we all exchanged gifts. My sister and I gave floss rings and that a friend of mine makes, and floss. We gave everybody those. There were 2 gals that I had never met before. Julie is from Michigan, and she made a bunch of homemade cookies in a cute little box with these bee, and they were all bee themed cookies. And she had this on the cookies. Stitching friends are sweeter than honey, and the cute ribbon. It was adorable. So that was from Julie. And then another gal, Sue, who's a friend of Pam's, made these cute little radishes. They're all out of wool with a little scissors inside. How fun is that? And then Terry, Chocolates for Breakfast is her Instagram name. She also gave us little cases that she made. And she also gave us a troll bead. She sells troll beads, and she has these beautiful, I had never heard of them until I met her. But they're beautiful beads that are handmade. Most of them are like for necklaces or bracelets. But she gave us one of those, and there's also one in here. So that was fun. Little case. My friend Pam, she was Sue's roommate, and she gave us, it's a lipstick, but it's a pin cushion. How cute is that? And then she gave us a little handmade tomato in a salt cellar with ribbon. So that was very fun, very fun. And like I said, I don't usually talk about gifts, but sometimes you get some really special things, and it's just nice to share it. The other thing I got when I got home, and I want to make sure that I mention this, her name is Jennifer Parr, P-A-R-R, and she has opened an Etsy store, and it is Raven's Roost Stitching. Raven's Roost Stitching. And she makes project bags, so she made me a project bag. And it's fabulously made, great fabric. Thank you, Jennifer, I really appreciate it. And I hope you get lots and lots of Etsy purchases. Also got this. This was at our table. I said, what are these for? And they were like, a fan? And I was like, oh, I thought maybe we were going to be bidding on something. Okay, I'll bid that. They thought that was funny. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about some things I got when I was there. First of all, my sister and I went to Heart's Desire, which is in Wichita, and I had been wanting to get this chart. So while I was there, I got this one. Heart's Desire is it's either going to close or be sold, but she said she has some prospects, so she's hoping to sell the store. So Heart's Desire in Wichita, Kansas. And this is by La Di Da. I got this there, and and They Were Not Ashamed. I'm not sure if this is a recent, 2023. I think this came out at Market. I love Adam and Eve samplers, and that one it's not huge. I just think it's really cool. So in my travels, I also got the threads and some linen. So I'm ready to go on that one. This is one of the things I got. This is a kit I got from Country Sampler. This is Stacy Nash, and it's really more fall, and it's pretty big. It's bigger than you would think. Its finished size is 8x4. And it's called the Gather Thy Harvest Pin Keep. I think that's really cool. And it's on that Winter Wren, I believe. Is it Winter Wren? No. I'm not, oh yeah, it is with Winter Wren. Originally it's designed to be on 46 count. But it's 186 by 96, so it'll be bigger than 8x4. Because the model was stitched on 46, so it's going to be more like 8 by 10. So it's going to be pretty big. I got this kit. Somebody I watched was talking about this. Country Sampler does a lot of Jeannie does a lot of her own conversions, and this Artful Offerings is a company that the picture and the called for tend to be brighter, but she tones it down to more prim, and it was a pretty big pillow. It's called the Songbird Sampler, and she really primmed up the colors. So, am I showing it right there? No. Got that. I got a few pieces of linen. Oh, this already had Channing Street, but she had kits for it, so I went ahead and got the kit for Channing Street, which is by Annie B's. This came out at Market. So I'm ready to go on that one. I got a few pieces of 46 count linen. This is one, Muddy Duck. I haven't stitched on any Tabby Cat, so I was kind of wanting to get a couple pieces of Tabby Cat, and this one is called Muddy Duck. It's not as, it's a little more tan. Not as gold as it looks in that picture. This is some 40 count Shrekie's Tan by Needle Bling. Again, I had not ever stitched on Needle Bling, so I want to try some of that. And then another thing I got some velvet. These are all, I think, Lady Dot velvets. I got these for the tops and some of the kits that have tomatoes. So I got peaches and cream. This is shallot, which is specifically on top of a, I think it's a Plum Street drum. It has a tomato out of that. This one is parsnip. I think this is used on a Stacy Nash piece. These two I thought looked Christmassy, maybe for drums. They look good on the top of drums. My friend Kay gave me a piece of velvet that's for a Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, Girl in Her Garden, I think is the name of that. And then I got something that I thought was sort of interesting. Oh, I also got this one. This is Teresa Kogut, and this is called Wisdom. And it says, "'Tis not fruitful to lift one up by belittling another. Kindness is wisdom, love one another. Be harmonious, judge not, that ye be not judged." I thought that was really pretty. Okay, so in my effort to do all of the word plays by Brenda Gervais, this is my July. I haven't started on it yet, and I'm running a little late, obviously, since July is next week. So they call for Abecedarian, and I've done 3 of them, and they're all on Abecedarian, this color, which is what I had in my stash. I questioned it but it was clearly labeled Abecedarian, and it's very light. I have some friends that are stitching on these word plays, and they have a whole different color of Abecedarian. And even though I have 3 of them finished, I really would like to do them with a darker. So I found this, which is 36 count Abecedarian, and I found this at Quilter Station. Now, will I restitch the ones I did? No. But I just want to show you the difference. I prefer the darker, and I think that's partly why I had so much trouble with the last one on the whites. So this is what I stitched my others on, and this is the newer or piece that I got. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference. So I'm excited to have that darker Abecedarian by R&R linen, 36 count, to do the rest of the word plays. Clear as mud? Good. The last thing I wanted to talk about was how Country Sampler is very enabling, obviously, but they had this on the wall, and this piece stitched is fabulous. I had the chart, and I've pulled the colors, so I have the colors. I haven't put them on a ring yet. But the model that's stitched on the wall in Country Sampler, I asked, and they did not change any of the colors. So this is Stacy Nash. It's called the Be Kind Sampler. If this video is coherent, it'll be an absolute miracle, because I feel like I'm just kind of rambling. What's new? Oh, at least my hair's getting longer. Probably too long now. So funny story, when I was born, I don't remember this, but my mother used to tell me the story about, you know how babies are born with maybe a lot of hair, and then the nurses will kind of put it up like in a, a little curl on the top of their head. So I guess the nurse was trying to do that with me, and I was screaming bloody murder. And the nurse told my mom, she's sure going to be fussy about her hair. Obviously, that one video I complained constantly about my hair. Okay, anyway, Be Kind Sampler by Stacey Nash. I can't quite figure out if it's done as a pillow or just like a flat fold with that ribbon. I don't know, but it's framed at Country Sampler. It almost looks kind of like a grayish linen, but they stitched it, and it calls for cocoa, which cocoa is a pretty, well, I'll tell you, here's cocoa. So that's an option. And then they stitched it on Up in the Attic, which is by Fox and Rabbit, which I have some up in the attic. So that's a second option. So here's the cocoa. They're all about the same. But the cocoa's 35 count, the Up in Attic is 40, and I think I'd rather stitch it on 40. And then I have a piece of 40 Grunge, which is from Kitten Stitcher, which looks more green, but in person it's more tan. So I'm not totally sure. I also have a piece of Baked Clay by Fox and Rabbit, but I think for sure I want to do 40 count. So for me, it's kind of between the Up in the Attic, which is this one, which is a little darker, and the Baked Clay, or a little more tan. Now keep in mind, if you've never been to Country Sampler, you might not realize, but what they do is they age all of their samplers on the wall. And there's a whole system. They do it. They can give you a little handout when you're there. I think the gal that does it actually kind of pre-rinses all of the threads so that they don't run. But she takes the walnut crystals, not the walnut shells, which you use for stuffing. Walnut crystals, which come in a little container, and you use, like, I don't know, a teaspoon with a couple cups of water, boiling hot water till it's dissolved. And then they actually use like a paintbrush. And so then they would, let me show you an example. So here, this is, I might do it on this, I don't know, it's a thought, because I think I'd like to frame this. Helps if you display it right side up. Now, this is Vintage Country Mocha, and it already has some modeling, but if you could see their technique. So then they take a paintbrush and they just kind of go around, dab around to dirty it up. I mean, that's what they're doing, they're dirtying it up. It's really a cool look. I like it. I haven't had the nerve to do it. And there's a gal on Instagram, her name is Lauren, and I saw her last year and again this year. And last year she's L hooked on Instagram. And last year we talked about it, and she said, oh, you just have to be brave and do it, because she's done it on quite a few of her pieces. So the first time I saw her, she goes, oh, I thought about bringing some so that we could do it on one of your pieces. She said, I should have done that. Anyway. I'm going to try it on something small, maybe like this flag flock. I think that would be fun to do. Okay, I think I'm to the end of what I wanted to show you. Oh, there's one more chart that I got out, and this is actually a kit. Rachel from Needle and Flax. I was kind of behind on watching FlossTube, so I went back and I've been watching some of ones that came out while I was gone. But this is Pennsylvania Fractor. And I originally got this as a club kit, but Rachel showed this finished, and so I dug it out. I think that would be fun to do. We'll see. So then I wanted to share my Flag Flock extra pattern. I don't like to give away patterns that would take away from what the designer might earn by selling her patterns. In other words, I don't give away ones that I have stitched, but I will give away ones that I have purchased too. And so I wanted to give this one away, and the key word was flag. And the winner, it's on my phone, so I had to, the winner is Kimberly, I think it's L8553, or Kimberly I, or Kimberly 1. It's kind of hard to read some of these, but Kimberly, let's just go with, it's L, it's not a 1, Kimberly L8553. So you won this Flag Flock pattern. And I also wanted to tell Deanna, who won the last piece. I didn't get that mailed until I got home, but it is in the mail now. She won the Shakespeare's Peddler black sampler pattern. So it is on the way to you, Deanna.
Contact the one that just won. How does she contact?
Oh yeah, contact me by, the best way is to leave me a message on Instagram. If not, then you can contact me on either Saltbox quilts at gmail.com. That's the best way. Saltbox quilts at gmail.com. So, wow, that was a lot of stuff. Oh, I am not finished. I have some frame pieces that I want to show you. But I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to organize them and get rid of some of the stuff, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back, and this is, I hope you got a chance to get refreshed. These are just some of the other patriotic pieces that I have around the house. I have a wall of blackbird pieces in my sewing room, not my long arm room, which used to be the family room, but my sewing room, which has my machine and my recliner where I stitch. So this one is called Salute to Abigail. This was originally a Dying to Stitch kit, and it came with the silks. However, when I did it, the red I had was very purple, so I ended up changing it, and I'm not sure what I changed it to. But yes, it originally did call for silks. I think it was called for Madeline's locks, and I changed it. So this is my finished and framed Salute to Abigail by Blackbird Designs. The next one is also a Blackbird design. This one is, it's called With My Needle. This one I did a long time ago. In fact, I did this in 2004. My son was 14, and I can remember waiting for him to get done with baseball practice while I was stitching on it. So this is, I did it in 2004 with My Needle by Blackbird Designs. Oops. Keep hitting the microphone, sorry. I'm sure this is out of print. This was the second in the Loose Feathers club, but at some point maybe Elma's already reproducing some of the original Loose Feathers, so maybe she'll get back to this one. With My Needle by Blackbird. That, I can put that away, that's all right. Couple more to show you. This isn't necessarily patriotic, but I sort of think of it as. This is by Bent Creek, and this one was called Snapperville. And it had, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 patterns. And then you could get the border online. So this is Bent Creek Snapperville. And it has the flag. It's kind of a seasonal, like the different seasons. Pumpkins, and then the last one has the flag. So I thought I'd include it. Bent Creek Snapperville. Hand me the one on the bottom first. This is a Blackbird piece, and I can't remember the name of it. This is one that my friend Susan Aki, Yard Girl, started. She didn't like the colors, and so she gave it to me. And I finished it. But it is Blackbird, and it's in a book. Long May She Wave, or something like that. I finished this in 2014. It's been a while. This one is actually was a class at the Liberty Gathering. I thought this was so cool, and I have this hanging around. I did this in 2001. And what it is fabric, and it has a print, and so we hand quilted to follow the lines on the print, and then we appliqued that star. I want to say this was a class by Renee Plains, but I'm not 100% sure. So we did the buttonhole stitch, we did the wool applique star, we did the quilting. It was just a really cool class, and so I wanted to show that because I have that. That's pretty much hanging year round. So that finally is all that I have, and I hope y'all are doing well and that you are enjoying your weather. If you want hot, you got to come to Florida or Texas. I saw Texas is really having some heat waves. So anyway, once again, I want to urge you to go check out those floss tubers. Izzy, the stitcher in New Zealand, Maddie, the Oklahoma stitcher, Chris, the camping stitcher, and Lisa, Lady Huzzah.
I'll put links in the description.
And he's going to put links in the description box. So anyway, hope y'all doing well. I'm back. I'm busy. If you bought a quilt, you will eventually get it. Just be patient, and I will get it out to you. So thank you to everyone. And I was happy to meet so many people that were so kind that said, I watch your videos, and just thank you. I'm just really, I'm kind of astounded that this old lady is talking about cross stitching and so many people watch. It's just kind of interesting, I guess. Anyway, love ya. Bye.